Welcome back to Mofongo Mondays. As you know, I'm Chef Derek, aka the Mofongo King. So today we're going to show you one of the biggest staples of our restaurant, which is penlin. Other than Mofongo, penlin definitely makes the world go around here a little bit. What we got right here, we have our pork shoulder. You can do pork shoulder, pork butt. It's really up to you, personal preference. One has a little bit more fat, one doesn't have a bone. What you're going to do first, which I already did, you're going to open them up, you're going to rinse them off because you don't want all that nasty stuff, the blood, to be on there when you cook it. It'll give it a smell, or it'll make it look a little bit nasty, and we really don't want that. Also, you're gonna make a marinade. You can do it however you want. There's so many different recipes. This one's ours. It's a lot of flavor, and it's very beautiful. And if you already like it, well, you already know what it's about. We have our marinade here. We have our knife. The pork shoulders right here. What we're gonna do, and you're gonna be very careful if you're using pork shoulder, there's a bone right in here. When you cut your holes, what you're gonna cut like this, you want them to be nice and deep enough to be able to put the marinade in there, so that when you leave it overnight and you cook it, it cooks all throughout the pork. So that's gonna spread the flavor all throughout the meat, so then every piece is gonna have every ounce of that flavor that we're looking for. Like I said again, you wanna be careful right now in this one, the bone's right here. You really don't wanna hit that, because if you do, the knife can always slide back and your hands could get sliced, and that's very dangerous. So always try to feel around for it before you do it. See, the bone's right there, but I'm just working around it. Boom. I want to make we'll say 5 cuts. Flip it over, hit the back the same way. Again, mind that bone. Put nice 3 holes in it right there. That should be good enough. And we're going to repeat the process with all of them. Now, they don't have to be huge holes, but I just feel like the bigger they are, the more flavor that you could get in there, and it's kind of what the name's all about. All right, so now that that's done, what I like to do, you don't have to do it, but what I like to do, I like to open holes just a little bit, just so you could kind of get a pour. It makes it a lot easier, and it makes it go by that much faster when you get yourself set up. We're gonna make sure that our marinade is evenly mixed, because you don't want too much of one thing to highlight the penlin when it's supposed to be all kind of evenly balanced throughout. So we're gonna take this, take a little handful, we're gonna put it on top of all of them just to get ourselves pre-set up so that you're not backtracking. So we'll get a nice little mound like that, and then here's where the fingers come in. And now you're gonna kind of get a rub in there. So start off with a rub, and then we're gonna put the nice little mounds, spread it in throughout the whole, try to get it evenly coated, just like that. Whatever excess is left, just rub it on top, just so then we get a nice seasoning on that fat, because some people really like that fat cap that's on it. Again, like I said, try to evenly distribute all of that marinade, just so then all the pork gets all of that delicious seasoning. Rub the rest in, just like that. This side's a little bit more easier because you're not fighting that fat. So we're gonna do the same thing. Get a nice mound on each. And this one is gonna be more of a rub. So we're gonna rub it in, but also try to hit up those holes that we made. So while you're doing this, just go throughout, try to find them, get them in there as good as you can, and then rub the rest around. This one's more or less for the to make sure that everything is evenly coated. Now that's done. We're gonna flip these over, and now we are going to get our aluminum foil, put that over it, kind of making a lid so that it keeps all that heat in there. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna kind of steam the penlin. So when we steam it, to cook it through all the way for about 15 hours. You could usually do it overnight. It all depends on when you're eating. About 15 hours, just so then that way everything is nice and tender, and you have a nice pulled pork. Remember, it's still pulled pork, but just Puerto Rican style. All right, guys, so we got our aluminum foil here. You wanna make sure that it's nice and tight, that there's no pockets, absolutely no pockets. So you want this hugging the edges of your pan, your full pan, whatever kind of pan you're using. You want to make sure that it's on there nice and secure, just so then all that steam builds up and fully cooks through your pork. Because if not, what's going to happen is that it's going to undercook, and instead of having a nice tender penlin or roasted pork, it's going to be tough in some places, and it's going to be really hard to chew. And after that, you don't want to have to throw it back in, because it's already been in there for 15 hours. You just want to set it, leave it, and then eat it in the morning or in the afternoon, however you want to do it. So that's done, nice and tight. We're gonna put that in the oven. Usually I set it about, I want to say about 295, 290, maybe at most 300. And like I said, anywhere from 13 to 15 hours. It all really depends on how you want it. Halfway through, or actually I want to say about 3/4 of the way through, you could go ahead and take off that aluminum, and you're gonna get a nice crispy skin on there if you let it sit in the oven like that for at least the last 2 to 3 hours. And that's sometimes the best part of the pork. Like, I can't make that up, I promise. So we're gonna move this over here to the side. We got our finished product right here. Take this aluminum foil, just like I said, very secure. Oh, look at that. Steaming hot. See how that skin, see that color that we're getting there? Look at that. You see all that marinade that's right there? Look at that. See, and that's what happens from us rubbing it in and rubbing it around. So we really don't waste any part of that marinade. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take off the skin, just like that. Just peel it off. Ours is a little bit softer, so we really don't like to use it because it's very gelatinous. We're gonna take out this bone, the hip bone right there. Put that to the side. You always wanna make sure, so always take something that's soft and not too sharp and try to push it through the pernil just to make sure that it's tender. You don't want to use a knife because it'll always cut through. So see how that cuts right into that? And now I can break that up, look, just like that. So it just falls apart. And if you look closely, you can see those little pockets of seasoning that we did in the other one. So see, all of that cooks in, and that's where you get that flavor all throughout the roasted pork. So now that we got that, and see how beautiful this just sets right there. Look at that. Look at that color that we got, that nice pink, tender pernil. Look at that, beautiful. Wow. And always, I don't know how you guys do it, but I'm gonna go grab some love sauce, which is our garlic oil, and put that bad boy right on top. And there you have it, guys. This is our roasted pork, pernil, our Puerto Rican pork roast here at Cleveland Mofongo. Very beautiful, very tender, very flavorful. And as always, guys, this has been Mofongo Mondays. Chef Derek, Mofongo King. And always remember, buen provecho.